You've met him before. The man who speaks as if words could hide his insecurity. The man who fills silence with noise but never with meaning. He believes his confidence is convincing, yet every sentence exposes something else: confusion, fear, weakness. The truth is simple. A man's speech is a reflection of his discipline. You can fake confidence, you can wear success, but the moment you open your mouth, your true strength, or lack of it, becomes visible. The world listens not to your image, but to your words. And most men, without realizing it, expose their foolishness through what they say. Today, we'll uncover the 7 things a stupid man always says, and how a stoic man replaces each one. Because words are not harmless sounds. They are signals of your inner order. They reveal who leads your life, your emotions, or your reason. Before we begin, remember what the Stoics taught. Speech is the architecture of thought. What you say shapes how you think, and how you think determines how you live. The disciplined man speaks to build. The foolish man speaks to escape himself. So listen closely, not to judge others, but to recognize your own weak phrases and replace them with strength. Because wisdom begins with awareness, and awareness begins with silence. Number 1. That's not fair. You'll hear weak men say this all the time. When life doesn't bend to their will, when someone else succeeds, when they feel left behind, they cry out, "That's not fair." But fairness is a fantasy invented by those who want comfort instead of clarity. Life is not fair, and it was never meant to be. The universe doesn't adjust itself to your feelings. It rewards adaptation, not complaints. A strong man doesn't demand fairness. He studies reality and works within it. The Stoics didn't ask for balance. They trained for chaos. When you say that's not fair, you're announcing your dependency on luck. But when you say this is reality, let me face it, you declare independence from weakness. Power begins where entitlement ends. The man who accepts life as it is gains control over himself. And that's the only fairness that exists. Number 2, it's not my fault. The modern man's favorite shield. When things go wrong, when he fails, when he disappoints someone, he hides behind excuses. My boss didn't help. My parents didn't teach me. She betrayed me. But a Stoic knows that responsibility is not about guilt. It's about power. You may not have created the problem, but you are always responsible for your response. Excuses are the language of those who fear control, because control demands effort. A man who blames the world hands over his strength to it. A man who owns his role, even in failure, becomes the author of his recovery. The wise man doesn't ask who's at fault. He asks, what can I do now? You can't always control what happens to you, but you can always control how you rise from it. And that is where a man's worth is revealed. Number 3, I already know that. This one sounds intelligent, but it's a trap. The moment you believe you already know, you stop learning. Stupid men say this to protect their ego. They fear looking ignorant, so they interrupt instead of listen. They debate instead of understand. But a wise man knows that even the most familiar lesson carries a new angle when heard with humility. There's an old Stoic saying, the man who believes he's wise is still a student. The man who admits he's ignorant begins to learn. Knowledge is a living thing. It dies when you stop feeding it. So the next time you want to say, I already know that, replace it with, remind me, because every truth you revisit from a higher level of maturity becomes a deeper truth. The fool speaks to be heard. The wise listen to grow. Number 4, I don't care. You hear this everywhere. Men use it to sound detached, untouchable, strong, but real detachment isn't indifference. It's control. The phrase, I don't care, doesn't make you powerful. It makes you hollow. The Stoics cared deeply about justice, discipline, virtue, reason. They simply refused to be ruled by emotion. Saying, I don't care, is often just emotional laziness disguised as strength. It means you've stopped investing effort in what matters. A Stoic doesn't stop caring. He chooses what to care about. He saves his energy for what he can influence. There's a difference between being calm and being numb. The strong man feels everything, but obeys nothing that weakens him. Detachment is not apathy, it is mastery. Number 5, I can't help it. A phrase that sounds honest but hides surrender. You'll hear men say this when they lose control, when they lash out, when they give in to temptation, when they repeat mistakes. I can't help it, but you can. You just don't want to fight the impulse. A man who believes he can't control himself becomes a slave to his desires. A Stoic trains his emotions like a soldier trains his reflexes. He knows that the body reacts, but the mind decides. Every urge is a test. Will you obey or will you command? When you say, "I can't help it," you declare your weakness as permanent. But when you say, "I'll handle it," you open the door to growth. Remember this: a man who cannot command himself is not free, no matter how much power he holds over others. True control begins inside. Number 6. What's the point? The voice of resignation. The phrase of men who have stopped believing that effort matters. You'll hear it when life gets hard, when results come slow, when meaning fades. What's the point? But meaning isn't something you find. It's something you build. Every action done with intention creates purpose. A Stoic doesn't ask for meaning, he acts with it. He knows that repetition becomes strength and strength becomes peace. The moment you ask, "What's the point?" you're secretly asking for permission to quit. But life gives no permission. It demands endurance. A wise man doesn't chase motivation. He builds momentum. You don't need a reason to act. Action itself creates reason. Purpose is not discovered in comfort. It's forged in persistence. The stupid man waits for meaning. The Stoic man creates it, one disciplined act at a time. Number 7. That's just who I am. The deadliest phrase of them all. It sounds confident, but it's really a confession of stagnation. It's what men say when they've given up on growth, when they've mistaken their habits for their identity. But the essence of life is transformation. You are not meant to remain who you were. You are meant to become who you can be. Saying, "That's just who I am," is like locking yourself in a cage and calling it home. The Stoic understands that self-respect is not accepting every part of yourself. It's refining it. Growth is not rejection of your past. It's evolution beyond it. You can be patient. You can be disciplined. You can be calm. But first, you must stop defending your flaws as if they were your personality. Remember this: the foolish man speaks to protect his ego. The Stoic man stays silent to protect his progress. In the end, the difference between a stupid man and a Stoic man is not intelligence, damaxu. It's awareness. The stupid man reacts. The Stoic man responds. The stupid man speaks to be seen. The Stoic man speaks to serve truth. Your words reveal your level of mastery. So start today. Eliminate these phrases from your vocabulary. Stop saying, "That's not fair. It's not my fault. I already know that. I don't care. I can't help it. What's the point? That's just who I am." Replace them with these: "I'll adapt. I'll take responsibility. I'm still learning. I choose what matters. I control myself. I'll find meaning. I'm becoming better." That's the language of power, the language of discipline, the language of a Stoic. Because at the end of the day, the man who controls his words controls his world. Pause for a moment. Ask yourself, are your words born from ego or from reason? One destroys your peace, the other builds your freedom. Speak less, think deeper, act stronger. And if you're ready to keep growing, subscribe to Stoic Spring. Because every day you practice wisdom, you train your mind for peace. And that, my friend, is how you stop being ordinary and start becoming unshakable.